Hello guys, and welcome to a new Still Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you a 3 versus 3 on Bobrujsk, and I'm going to be playing with the second Guards Tank Corps with the balanced deployment type. This game was an absolute wild ride, so definitely grab your favourite beverage, grab some popcorn, sit back, relax and enjoy this one as I explain what we've got underway at the start. So, we've got a few machine guns, these SG-43s. They have the 1,250 meter range with the double vet, can really help pin down infantry early on. You can see I've got a Vodka here, which is going to be able to spot a lot of these vehicles and infantry for me early on. Zis-2 has unloaded, takes out a Puma right at the beginning of the game. Then we've got a bunch of guards, so they're going to be pushing through the light cover with the leader of the guards, so that I can provide extra veterancy, make these all 2 vet to win those engagements. Then we've got 2 25mm for AA. And I've got 2 T-34 85 9044s, and we've also got the ISU 152 sitting back here on the ridge, ready to provide some fire support. But early on, we're doing pretty well. We managed to take out the 231, we take out a couple of Pumas. So, a solid opener against Nathan here, who's going to be using the 2nd Panzer. And we do have to watch out for those recon vehicles, which he will have in abundance at the start of the game. He's unloaded a couple of Pioneers here, and I'm confident that I can engage them with the guards. So you can see I'm moving those into position. We've got the Rozvedka currently just taking cover, whilst the T-34 85 moves up to help out. This Pak-40, potentially an issue, so going to be trying to get the ISU 152 to fire position, but couldn't quite get the line of sight, so it's moving up a lot further than I would have liked. Regardless, the guards have found their targets. The Panzergrenz go down, the Pioneers go down, but now we have the half-tracks starting to be a problem. Now the ISU here using line of sight, not by firing beyond the 2,000 meters, but by using a fire position order just to the right-hand side here. And that way I can try and get shots close to the Pak-40 without actually being able to be fired back at by the Pak-40, and that works out really well. So takes out the Pak-40. We take out the SBW-231 here that was trying to provide the extra fire support. But the Panzergrenz have unloaded and they're starting to pin down my guard, so that's not too good. The Panzergrenz still very scary these days with their double MG42s. Really do rip the morale out of your units. We're going to move up the T-34 85 at least to get rid of the half-track. That's one less machine gun to worry about. But the Panzergrenz with their 1 vet still managing to beat the guards with the 2 vet until the tanks arrive. Now, you'll notice that I have brought in 4 mortars early on. I noticed that there was quite a lot of support weapons being used. We've got the IG-18, we've got the Pak-40s everywhere. So these 82mm mortars are going to be very important if I want to break down those Pak-40s for the rest of the game. T-34 85 does need to be a bit careful here, because with these guards getting low on number, we are going to have to watch out for infantry pushing through the tree line here that the T-34 85 might not be able to deal with. But at the moment, just going to try and take care of the IG-18. Again, a 2 vet unit should be dealing with this pretty well. It's got the 2 DTs, it's got the HE, so gets the job done nicely. I spot a Pak-40 and I'm immediately going to back out of there, and we're going to get the mortars on target. Guards getting beaten again by the MGs of the Germans. SG-43 now going to be taking some shots towards another Pak-40 on the left-hand side, but you can see another Pak-40 on the right-hand side. So Nathan here really putting a lot of investment into these Pak-40s early on, and it is going to make it difficult for me to use these T-34 85s efficiently. And with the IG-18 now helping the Pak-40, that SG on the ridge is going to get taken out before we even do a single point of damage to the Pak-40. I'm just going to be careful not to let this Panzergren get within the 120 meters range, because then it can fire its Panzerfaust. So when you hold C, you'll see the inner circle there is 120 meters. That's because these sorts of weapons, they have 120 meters, so it's just an easy indicator for you to check, make sure you don't get caught out. It is quite a fine line, because you do only spot enemy infantry at like 150 meters in close or in like light cover. So yeah, you've got like 30 meters to work with, which makes like using the T-34 in this case kind of scary. had it on a move order here, trying to push up, I think, onto what was the pinned down Pack 40, but then Nathan surprises me with the Panzerschreck as well, which I wasn't really expecting because I've already seen 2 cards of Pack 40s. So having a 3rd card of AT in Phase A is quite significant, and so yeah, the Panzerschreck there catching me out. I'm still trying to mortar out the rest of these Pack 40s, but unfortunately for me, the 82mm mortars don't do too well at range because they don't have radio, and you can't give them radio like you can with other longer range artillery. Like, basically mortars can't be given the radio trait by an artillery leader, which is now a thing in Steel Division if you've been absent from the game for a little while. So IG-18 anyway gets demolished by the ISU-152. That's been doing a fantastic job for me. 2 vet guards against the Pioneers 1v1 should be okay, although this is only 1 chap left over. And when your units get reduced in number in Steel Division 2, it makes them take longer to reload. So that's the main malice that occurs when you have less people, although all of the guns still keep firing. But more and more troops are arriving for Nathan. I'm getting some shots into this Pack 40, which I'm happy about, but 2 more half-tracks with their Panzergrenz getting shots on target is not ideal. Now, since this Pack 40 is pinned down, just trying to use the T-34-85 here to kill it off, and we do manage to do that, as each of these Pack 40s that I kill is 1 step closer for me to get a breakthrough. Although at the moment, obviously, in a bad spot because my infantry has been pushed out of this area, and without reinforcements soon, I'm going to be in a bad spot because then AT guns can move all the way up to here and kind of prevent me even getting off the bridge. You'll notice I have now got a commander, so that is pushing my T-34-85 here to 3 vets. Pack 40 is a threat, but we're going to start to put some mortar fire down on that, and I've also got the ISU moving up now. A bit of a mistake on my part. Should have noticed that the Pack 40 there had eyes on target, because the first shot goes straight into the side and the second finds the kill. So ISU 152, very important asset for the 2nd Guards, going down quite quickly indeed. Now I'm also in a tough position here because Nathan's managed to get his infantry into the heavy cover, and now I'm going to be fighting from a light cover to heavy cover engagement. 2nd Guards also has a bit of a lack of infantry in the early game with the way that I built the deck, so my guards are pretty much all I have left at this stage. So I'm really hoping that I can do some damage at closer range with the dual submachine gun. But now his Panzergrenz are also 2 vet, and you can see how quickly they're going to absolutely demolish this guards. So my infantry not having a good time. Sapperly are going to be able to get their shots down range. They're pretty good because they got the SVT and the DP, so you get quite a lot of damage onto one of the Panzergrenz there. The 2nd Panzergrenz is going to get pinned down thanks to the 50 cals. Puma is coming down on the left side though. We've got 2 of those putting pressure onto my left flank. I'm going to be driving back with the T-34-85 just to try and intercept that. And you can see we've got quite close range here. We got the 1 vet and we're going to miss the first shot. So we're going to be looking for the 2nd shot, but the turret stuck is bad for us. Fortunately, turret's still firing in the right direction. We're going to take out the first one, looking for the next one, but we actually get shooter knocked. And so the Puma going to be able to continue to move through. My guards with the 50 cal here are currently running after it in order to try and just at least pin it down. All the while, we are just about getting the better of his infantry and his APCs over here. The 250-117D does get taken out. Yak 9T coming in for the strafing run. Doesn't quite pin down the Puma. So the 37 failing me there, and now with the Puma sat still, even with the suppression, is able to find the first shot, is able to find the 2nd shot, and is slowly but surely killing my poor motorcycles that weren't able to escape in time. And Yak 9T again failing to even pin it down. At least now the Puma here going to be killed off by the guards that throw their AT grenade. Really rough moment for me in this match, as yeah, the Puma getting that deep into my lines thanks to the criticals onto the T-34-85 that they hit on the move, whilst my T-34-85 was just failing there so bad. It was really tough on me at this point in the game, because now I've got enemy infantry and units in this area that I've got to clean out because I didn't have presence over this area for a while. Now the reinforcing Panzergrens are getting the better of the guards, and we've only just moved into phase B. So I'm now going to be able to bring in like a number of Sapere that may be able to like fight back through there. But at the moment the MG42's cutting down my Razvedka, and yeah, more Pak 40s now arriving because yeah, it's phase B and Nathan has reinforcements. So P2 on the way, looking to try and bomb out that Pak 40 on the right hand side, but since they have the SDK of Z17D transport there, it is going to really make that hard to hit the target, because the more that a bomber is suppressed, the more the bombs are dispersed. So in this case, the bomb's unlikely to finish the job there. Anyway, Sapere are going to be moving back into position. You can see that I'm not in a very strong position right now. Like, we're only moments away really from losing this area completely. The Sapere are then going to have to push from light cover to heavy cover, as I mentioned before. T-34-85 is getting some damage towards the MG42s and does kill the 231, so I'm happy about that. But we've got to get rid of the units on the left side here. I don't want them to start flanking my teammate Valdis, who's up on the hill here with the 6th Airborne. So 82mm mortar, I've only got one left, and that's going to make it even harder for me now to take care of those AT guns that are a big threat to the T-34-85s that are a large part of the 2nd Guards. My Yak-9T, probably could have used that maybe to try and strafe some of the infantry here. But Guards getting revealed and then engaged by these half-tracks is kind of frustrating for me. Now I'm trying to get the 50 cal to at least kill off the Pioneer or pin it down enough. But all the while, T-34-85 gets snuck up upon and taken out. Sapere versus Panzergren do manage to get the TNT down at least, and they are in heavy cover, so I'm hoping that I can get the 2nd Sapere into the same position while the T-34-85 moves across to engage the 2 half-tracks here. Your leader has arrived to take advantage of the commander so that we can give the extra veterancy to our guards units, but all the while we're continuing to lose ground on the right hand side. The unit there, the ZIS-2, does get finished off by the MG42, and now I'm trying to engage a Panther with a T-34-85 at close range. Panzerschreck at least gets taken out. We take out the 2nd half-track, and Sapere take out the Pioneer Führer, so we are still somewhat trading. We're just in a really bad position in terms of territory. And as my T-34-85 is backing up, well, we're going to get killed off by the Panther D Avkara, which is pretty rough. We did manage to get a penetration in there at least before it died, but I was hoping to just be able to back up from the Panther A that was already here, but instead obviously getting picked off by that unit. Now another shot coming in there. We take a nice side shot from that Panther A. It's managed to push really quite far up, so it's now in this tree line, taking advantage of my other unit dying. My 25mm, it could try and run away. There's not much chance for it, so I'm gonna try and move back a little bit, but yeah, it's just a lot of tanks coming in. This is 2 Panthers pushing in really hard. Panther A Führer, Panther A, and then they got Panther Recon. I'm in a really tough spot. The Pioneer holding out well. The Guard's not getting close. The Razvedka gonna struggle to engage the Pioneer because they don't have an MG. So now I'm basically looking at how do I engage and kill 3 Panthers. So I was hoping this T-34-85 might be able to get a shot on target, but completely failed to do so. These T-34-85s were facing the wrong direction, but they have 3 vets, so I'm hoping, you know, they can get some shots on target. Unfortunately not. IG-18, I think, side shot my T-34-85. So that's really, really rough. The 82mm mortar here, kind of forgot about it, ends up getting killed. His T-34-85 did get penned, but at least we managed to trade one of the Panthers out. Now Zis 2 on this flank. Got the T-34-85 taking shots at the AA, just trying to kill that off, because if I can then kill the AA, at least maybe I can use bombers or like rocket planes to engage some of these Panthers. Because at the moment these Panthers are like very like over exposed, you know, they've been pressed forwards quite significantly. We've killed the SDKF Z71, so overextended is the word that I was looking for. They're now overextended and I can potentially pounce on them. Now in order to get back against like multiple Panthers pushing me down, the only real way to get around it is value for money. And currently Nathan's been doing a good job of that because he's been using the PaK-40s to kill a lot of my assets, and his PaK-40s cost like 60 points and my tanks cost like 110 points, so it's really rough. But if I can now do the same to him, that would be great. Unfortunately, losing the Zis 2 here was a big mistake on my part. I wanted to unload it into the back garden so that it could get side shots or even front shots into the Panthers at close range. But now I'm going to have to deploy the Zis 2 up on the ridge here, which is going to make it difficult due to gun depression to potentially engage the Panther A's at this range. The Su-85 is also on the way, and these are 65 point units. And this is like a 130 point Panther, this is a 135 point Panther. So if I can isolate and kill these now, that would be absolutely huge. And I'm able to take out the SDKF Z10 forward there, so that's nice. The Rozvedka actually killed the unit before it unloads, or like killed the half-track there, so he loses the Panzergrenz really quickly, so mistakes on his part. And I'm able to isolate the Panther A Führer on the right-hand side as he gets very, very overconfident in his play. So I've managed to concentrate my forces now, and we're going to be looking to finish off the second Panther, and then I need to be able to maybe bomb out the PaK-40s or something, because obviously I lost my my mortars early on. That's pretty rough. But Andy going to be coming over with a recon plane, so we are going to at least be able to identify where the enemy AA is. E-34 looking for the shot, doesn't quite find it as the Panther gets behind the building just in time. Are able to get the shot onto the SDKF Z71 though, and that is going to save the IL-2. But 2 PaK-40s is really rough, but thankfully with the SDKF Z71 going down, the PE2 should be okay to come through and find the kill. Unfortunately, second T-34-85 goes down as the Panther D peaks, so we're still in a really rough position, but at least the bombs got dropped and one of the PaK-40s does get killed off, and the PE2, nice and quick, is going to be able to get out of there. Zis 2 also finishes off the Panther D in that moment, so yeah, not too bad. Now Su-85s with their 3 vet engaging the PaK-40. We've got the ISU-152 also coming up to get shots on target. Unfortunately for me, the PaK-40, even though it was suppressed, does manage to get a direct hit and penetration onto the ISU-152, which was really rough. But another P2 on the way, and that's going to be dropping bombs onto this PaK-40. We've got the Rozvedka here, which are going to be trying to fight off 2 of the Panzergrenz. At close range, we do a decent amount of damage. I managed to kill one of the Panzergrenz before they unloaded, so they were left with only 2 men left, and then the other squad there with the full amount, which we managed to chip a little bit with the guns from the Rozvedka. But so far, so good in terms of recovery. Now we've managed to kill now a couple of PaK-40s, we killed the Panther Ds, we killed the Panther A's, so you know, we just got to worry about the reinforcements, which it's another couple of Panther A's. So Panther A Führer, that's the 2 vet Panther A that we got to deal with, hoping my Zis 2 can get a nice penetration there. If not, it's going to be really up to the Su-85s to get the job done. Another PE2 purchased in order to take out this PaK-40 that's running down my flank, because we don't want that to be shooting into the side of the Su-85s. So bombs away, and that can get out of there. Razvedka actually in a really good spot here to engage the Panther with the bazooka. So we let that unleash. Now looking potentially for the second one, if we have time, before it gets pinned down. So now it's up to this Su-85 to get the job done, but the IG-18 firing in from the flank is still going to be a problem. So we're still looking like we're in an overall very bad position. But you got to think at this point, that's a lot of Panthers dead. So in that regard, it's not too bad. It's just my overall positioning on the map is pretty rough. Our two vets, this 2 manages to get kill onto the Panther A Führer. Absolutely heroic showing from the ZIS-2 there, because that was not the highest penetration chance, probably about 40% or something at that range. SPE2 now going down as looks like Valdis has had enough, but the 10-4 gets taken out by the Su-85. The bomber likely killed the IG-18, so not the end of the world. Now more guards on the way, but infantry quality is definitely something that has hampered me in this game so far and is a problem with this division. So Su-85, it is damaged, so I don't necessarily want it to drive right into a 20mm, because you know that could cause it to get killed off just by HE. So you have to respect that a little bit. But meanwhile, over on the left-hand side, Endy's doing a decent job. He is putting the pressure onto those flags, so it is kind of negating some of the time that I've lost on this right-hand side. But ultimately, in terms of flags, the only flag on the 50 really is this one. So, you know, Nathan has to push and capture this one and this one in order to make it viable. The guards this time, we're going to unload those. Going to be going for that half track and the infantry. Meanwhile, the Su-85 did manage to win the engagement against the Panther D, so that was really nice. And you might notice that I reloaded the infantry into the half track there just to avoid the engagement with the infantry that are currently there, because I knew that the guards wouldn't win. So I'm just backing up. We're going to get the half track to engage the Panzergrenz with the 50, and then I can push them forwards afterwards. Now these guards looking to help pin down the IG-18. Su-85 manages to back up into cover in time, so that's good. Now the Panzergrenz are pinned down. We're going to be looking to surrender those and hopefully get rid of the salient into the front line. T-34-85 at a distance, going to be able to continuously engage the IG-18 without having to worry too much, which is nice. Pumas on the flanks could be a problem. They don't really have any decent targets around here anymore, other than maybe my commander. So we're starting to get back into this game after Nathan's very aggressive start, which really put me massively on the back foot. But in terms of our side of the map, we are more or less even again. Now, this is where the 50 is at the start, so it's up to me really to be pushing onto this flag in order to assist the team. T-34-85 up on the ridge is going to be able to cover from a distance. These do have 2,000 meter range, so anytime that Puma's revealing itself, we can get a shot on target. The second one, still just in cover enough for me not to be able to hit it. But here come the PE2s once again. Still a decent amount of 20 mils hanging about. This PE2 gets forced off. This one just about managing to drop the bombs onto the Pak 40. Now I'm going to be trying to drop this PE2 onto another one of these, so that we can start breaking down those 20s. But half track has been taken out here. We lost the guards, so still a vulnerable left flank. But at least another Puma taken care of, and the bombs here managing to pin the 20 for the time being. More and more reinforcements on the way. Sapori going to be moving up. Should be enough to finish off the units that's in there, unless Nathan manages to get another bunch of troops down this road into the town. But more of the ISU on the way. ISU's really, really good when you have like clean open sight lines for 2,000 meters. In this case, it's kind of rough because whilst I can sit up here and kind of fire position around the place, there's going to be always areas where like the trees are blocking, and it's kind of difficult to, you know, get them on target. So I should probably I could have it over here, for example, would be a nice place for it, and then it could just constantly fire across the open here, unless obviously a panther comes and starts engaging it. But up here is okay. But as soon as I want to push forwards, it's not really going to support me anymore, and then I have to get so close that, you know, anything like a Pack 40 can engage and penetrate them. In our team, overall, we've lost like half our tickets, so kind of got to be really careful here. I'm able to get my Sapperly into position before the reinforcements arrive from Nathan, so that does give me a pretty good position here. Just going to make sure the Sapperly aren't going to get engaged by the half tracks. I do have the Rozvedka. We've also got the T-34-85s up on the ridge, and the T-34-85s, they actually make a really important kill there. They kill the 251-9, which were most likely carrying the leader. So that's going to take away the extra veterancy from these Panzergrunts as they try and move into the town. We take out both of the half tracks, so the infantry can now finish them off with the SVTs. E2 looking for the bombs once again onto enemy AA. This one was going to try and go deep for the Pack 40, but not able to find it. At least we're able to smash that AA piece. And you'll notice that finally the salient is fully recovered on that side. Now ISU taking the fire position order to engage down the road. And we're going to just start to kind of consolidate a little bit of a force now that can continue the push. I think in this game, really, Nathan had me in a chokehold, but due to his like over-aggressive push with the Panthers, it did enable me to like break those down and potentially get back into the game because of that. Otherwise, Nathan did a really, really good job early on, particularly with that Puma. Yes, it was a bit lucky getting through there, but ultimately it did its job. It, you know, it used its speed and its accuracy to take out those light targets which were harassing his support weapons. So yeah, definitely a good move. Rozvedka, new Rozvedka on the way. Gotta make sure they have got plenty of recon. I don't want these like AT guns and other units to get the better of my T-34s still. Guards on the way. Currently only 3 vet due to being next to the commander. But it is one thing that has benefited these T-34-85s on the ridge. Due to them being like 3 vet, they're going up to like 40 or like 50 plus accuracy, which is pretty handy. The rate of fire is going to go up to like 8 or 9, so that's really, really useful as well. A little bit of a lull in the contact, but that's just me kind of waiting for these guards to arrive to push back into the light cover here. Enemy artillery now starts coming in, and I'm just going to be moving on, so we're going to kind of avoid some of those shots as they were going for the idle units up on the hill here. But yeah, ultimately just going to try and take as much ground back as I can now. Spotted 20 mil, going to take that out. There's the Pack 40 obviously that needs to go, and that is 3 vets. That's very scary. Those things have like, I don't know, 13, 14 round per minute rate of fire, which is a lot. The ISU going to be able to fire position this Pack 40, and we're looking to get this ISU to kill the other one. And there it goes, lovely. Good fire position shots coming through. Since a lot of Nathan's forces were like pushing really hard to get into this area, you'll notice that he doesn't have that much left in position here. So we're going to be able to take advantage of that and really like turn the game around completely. Guards just about managed to dodge some of the damage there from the Pioneer Führer. But that Pioneer Führer now in a bad spot as it doesn't have any real way to defend itself. We're taking that out. Rozvedka is going to take out another of the 20 more AA vehicles. And we're really starting to break down the AA net that would stop me from bringing in the PE2s that I have up my sleeve here. You can see that some of them have the 6 100 kilogram bombs, some of them have the 2 500 kilogram bombs. That's a second 20 mil taken out. Now the Sapperly really starting to push on through. ISU 152 looking to kill off a half track before it gets in position, but not quite successful in doing so. Second ISU has joined on the backside, and more T-34-85s are going to be on their way. Because at close range, T-34-85s can continue to trade well with the Panthers. But at the moment, we're not even bumping into Panthers, so like the extra veterancy is and the main gun just going to help us win one of these infantry engagements. Big hits here as the T-34-85 takes out the Panzergrens before they unload, and then the second set of Panzergrens currently getting absolutely obliterated by the ISU 152. We're also going to end up bumping into Nathan's commander. So PE2 coming in for the bombing strike, but we're going to turn that onto the Panther. That's going to allow me to continue to hunt down the Commandant, which is currently being run down by the Sapperly, so big kill there. And this is when I really notice like how far ahead I now am in terms of kills. And we killed a lot of stuff. And with the bombers there dropping, we're looking to take out the Panther G. That's multiple 500 kilogram bombs. So they get the job done. Now one Panther A Führer on its own is also going to take a bomb, and that's going to allow me to push up aggressively with the T-34-85 and hopefully get the kill. There the bombs go. We're just looking to hopefully pin it down at least. Just like take away some of its accuracy, and then we can smash it like that at close range. Unfortunately for me, the tank didn't fall back after getting penetrated the first time, so we're just hoping that my T-34-85 here can finish the job. I did end up moving it by accident, so didn't get the shot on target, but there we go. We're in a really good spot now as we've captured back both of these flags. And my Sapperly here looking to create my own salient on this right hand side. Now meanwhile, Tommy has actually recovered on the other side. So now Endy under a bit of pressure from Tommy's forces. So each side of the map is kind of flipped. You know, I'm now on the front foot and now Endy's on the back foot a little bit. But PE2 is going to be able to continue to come in now. Again, with the AA out of the way, the PE2s can really come into their own. And building up a decent fleet of PE2s really going to help me continue to press forwards here. And Sapperly at close range, if they can get into the heavy cover, are going to beat the Panzergrens every time. I do have to be careful in this situation though, because the Panzergrens with their double MG42s will still rip my Sapperly to pieces. That's where the T-34-85s come in handy, and same with the ISU 152. Because it's going to be pretty important that I have these close by to support against Panzergrens and make sure that we can win those infantry engagements. This T-34-85 really quite far up. Not shooting for a very long time. We do get the right target. The 251-9 goes down. Now we're going to be seeing Ju-87s coming in from Taki to help air to fire position order, which missed the mark as he lost line of sight. This Ju-87 though, right on target. Going to be able to hit towards the ISU 152. Yak 9T on the back of the Ju-87 does shoot it down. So ISU survives and the Ju-87's dead. Really big engagement for me there. Taking away assets even from Taki, who is currently challenging Valdis up on the hill there. So really starting to get my teeth into this game and not really pulling any punches in trying to push back into Nathan. And these Panzergrens, they don't even have Panzerfaust, so I'm able to exploit that, even get really close to them not have to worry about them killing my tanks and so on. Now Sapody getting close range with the Panzergrens. Easy win for me once the TNT gets thrown. All of my tanks getting into really good positions further up in order to defend all of these objectives. So you'll notice like this one under our control, this one under our control, this one under our control, and it's flipped it to like 14-10 in our favour. So we're starting to bleed their tickets. Even these guards are going to be able to get into the light cover here. But now the Panthers arrive once again. So another Panther arriving. This was, I believe, another Panther that my T-34 bounced off. The T-34-76 gets chewed. Sapody looking to get the TNT on target once they reload. And that should deal with that one. All the guards unloading. Unfortunately in this case, yeah, our guards not going to win out. But fortunately for me, a couple bombers on the way. We got the two with the 100 kilogram bombs, which are pretty decent against soft targets. STK Z71's still going to be a little bit of a problem, but you can see I'm bringing over the T-34-85 1944 here to get shots on target. I still managed to drop the bombs. We are going to fly over to the middle of the map where I'm not too sure what the AA is like, so that's a bit risky for me. But hitting the Panzergrens there is really, really handy. And the T-34-85 does kill off the STK of Z71. Now losing both the PE2s is really tough, but it is what it is. Panther D and Panther A Führer now providing problems once again. So Panther D, Afkada takes out my guards before they unload. We lose them in the transport, unfortunately, after my other T-34 dies there. But at least we've somehow managed to like clean up these guys with the bomber, so that was good. So Panzergrens and their half-tracks both taken out. More Panzergrens getting killed off across the board. This T-34 trying to engage the Panther at max range. Not really the best move. You'll notice we've got 3 T-34s at close range now. So we're able to take a shot, kill one of the Panther A's. Now hoping to kill the second, take out the Panther D. And numbers wins the day. Because these T-34-85s are cheaper, I am able to build them up quite a lot quicker than Nathan can, and that has severely helped us throughout the game. Focke-Wulf 190 coming in with the bombing strikes now. One that was damaged already died, so that was okay. Just trying to finish off the 20mm there as well. Because since we killed the STK Z71, now if we kill the dual 20 there, we're looking at more opportunities for PE2 bombing strikes. A little bit of a mistake on my part. Shouldn't really be attack moving these out of the heavy cover here, as it does leave them vulnerable to the numerous reinforcements that are going to be coming in very, very close to the spawn there. But ISU and T-34 going to be able to clean out the Panzergren Führer and the Panzergrens. Not enough AT there at all. Like the Panzergren Führer doesn't have AT, the Panzergrens don't have AT. And all the while, more T-34-85 is going to be arriving on the front. Panzerwreck trying to sneak forward using the night cover, not going to be able to. And Panzergren Führer is now taken care of. Soon so will be the Panzergrens. Yeah, that's not a fun time. A point blank ISU 152 shot to the face from the Panzergrens there. So Panzer IV getting some shots towards the guards at least, but the guards are going to survive, and I'm going to bring up some reinforcements there just to make sure I can hold the line. Puma getting a shot with its APCR, but not enough to get the kill. So we do manage to kill that, but yeah, the T-34-85 is just going to be stuck there until I can fix it up. All the while, got to be a little bit careful of the Panzergrens here because they do have a Panzerfaust, but with the amount of fire coming down, it's not too much of a problem. This T-34-85, however, playing with fire as it approaches the Pak-40 and a Jagdpanzer of Taki. Jagdpanzer really rough for my T-34-85s to deal with because they are like 105 points. They got 130mm of frontal armor, and that's very difficult for the 145mm gun to actually penetrate. P2 coming through, looking for the bomb onto the AT gun. We are going to be able to kill the AT gun, but you'll notice that the Panzer there, you know, it's going to be able to kill off both of those T-34-85s. Really, really tough. Like, even at that range, you know, we're still struggling. Especially when T-34-85 doesn't want to hit the mark. So that Jagdpanzer taking out now 3 of my T-34-85s. At least I got a good shot here with the ISU-152 down the road, straight into that big old blob of forces. She's just going to fire position right into the middle of them so that I can pin down as many as possible in one shot, and maybe even kill the half tracks with that HE. So the weight of Nathan's force is starting to build up again. Just got to be careful that I don't collapse like he did when he got too over aggressive. Because basically what happens is when you push so close to your opponent's spawn, they're able to reinforce way faster than you are. So they're able to react to all of the units that you're bringing. And a good example of that was the Panther. Like, the Panther comes nice and close. I'm like, what do I need to kill Panther close range? SU-85. So I bring in the SU-85 and I have them there basically immediately. And there's nothing there for him to really stop me because all of his AT guns are like so far back, and you know, you can't deploy them to the front line so quickly. You get stuck in this kind of weird predicament. Regardless, more of my T-34-85s have arrived. We've got 2 more on the way there. We've got a T-34-76 as well for a bit more maneuverability and like medium tank engagement potential. But ultimately 14-10, and the key here is if it ends now, it would be a draw because they have more tickets than we do. But if we continue to bleed them for the next like 5 minutes, then we'll be ahead in tickets, and as long as we're also ahead in flags, we'll get the win. So that's kind of what we're counting on right now. I'm also counting on my T-34-85 actually being able to penetrate Jagdpanzers. Always very handy. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get the second shots through that frontal armor. Really, really tough. Now Nathan's making a good play here. He's opting to use the Panzer IVs. And the Panzer IVs are really tough for me because they have enough penetration to get through the T-34-85 at close range, but they cost like way less. So I've got to be super careful that I don't let these come in at close range. But lucky for me, you know, ISU-152 decides to hit the god of all shots with the AP round. This T-34-85 has managed to get 2 shots into these Panzer IVs already, so 2 of them are down. Third one's now being engaged by the T-34-85 back here. So we managed to finish that one off. I am taking shots from the Jagdpanzer once again, which is rough. That's the one that's damaged, just still causing me problems. But the T-34-76 here is not going to have a chance against the Jagdpanzer, so you have to be really, really careful. Al-Taki's Panzer IV up on the hill, having a go at my ISU-152, and I don't have any AP rounds left. I can't really reverse, can't really go anywhere, so just got to hope that that bounces, and it did. Whilst my T-34-76 finishes the job, but now in line of sight of the Jagdpanzer. And the driver kill means that that's going to go down. This too going to be replacing it. Definitely going to have a better chance of penetrating with that at close range. T-34-85 hits the first shot, misses the second. This one going to bounce. And you can just see how terrible that 130mm of frontal armor is to deal with. Even at this range, it's not like we're far away and therefore, you know, no chance. There is a chance for me to penetrate, it's just not really going in my favor. Again, 3-vet missing the mark. I did move it, so that probably didn't help. There's this two gonna have some work to do, that's for sure. The main thing really is making sure that I'm not losing these 2 flags, and I'm hopefully contesting this one. It does go down, and we're just kind of bringing in more and more reinforcements, more guards, more AT guns if I have them, and we just don't let my units get killed by Like that Panther that's coming in, the Jagdpanzers, and so on. Now Speertroop being used offensively here to try and kill off these AT guns. So my T-34-85 has got its work cut out, really. Gonna have to move the Sappery over. Finally kill Jagdpanzer there. This 2 gets the job done. Looking for the Panzer IV now. Down it goes. Good stuff. That's going to give us the flag as well. So, not too bad. Both the Speertroop cleaned up on the right hand side. Now it's 15-9, which is basically a double tick. So, we're going to be starting to drain their tickets substantially more. Andy's going to continue to try and hold the line on the left hand side. The grind continues for Valdis in the center as off map is thrown both ways. This 2 is at close range. Don't quite get the shot off in time. Unfortunate for me. The trouble with those recon tanks is they can kind of like peek, find their target and shoot before they even get spotted themselves sometimes, especially if you don't have your own recon in position, so you do have to be a bit careful about that. But this is 2 firing down the road there. Going to be able to do plenty of damage to some of this infantry before it gets out. Take out all of those transports and now all of the tanks just chewing up that infantry. Bombs coming in from the PE2s. Unfortunately, them retreating over the centre means we do lose both of those, and that's all the PE2s now gone. The T-34s here currently aggressively pushing through the back line, and we're looking to kill off this Panzer IV. Unfortunately, not able to get a shot on with the first target, or with the first shot, but both hit the second, so the Panther IV does go down nice and quick there. Zis 2 now finding the shot onto the Panther D. Can he be a god and kill the Panther III as well? He can, and that's the beauty of Zis 2s with their nice high round per minute rate of fire. Now Ju-87 coming in to take out another of the T-34s there. But yeah, ultimately, just got to keep throwing stuff at them. Got more Zis 2s on the way. Got the guards going to try and push onto this flag even. And that way we can kind of negate any advantage that was gained in the middle by them controlling the entire town. And if Tommy manages to grab a flag there, it's not going to be the end of the world, because I'll have secured an extra flag. But there is a lot of stuff in this town. So T-34s got their work cut out, really. So guards just sort of chilling in the open. 1 minute 30 seconds remaining. IS-2s looking to hold the line. Guards on the right hand side here, slowly creeping up, but at close range. Well, the Panzergrens, if they get their MG42s on target with 3 vets, it's really rough. Look at this 2 here, it does take out a Jagdpanzer for me with a sweet side shot. Now looking for the Jagdpanzer there, but that's going to get the shot off first. And yeah, what a game it was. Like, I got pushed back all the way to this hill, and it looks very, very ugly for a long, long time as Nathan put on the pressure very early in this game. He got that really nice run down here with the Puma. Really set me back big time. And then managed to just about kill enough units to really snowball all the way back through these flags and control this right hand side once again. Really, really fun game, and like I said, an absolutely wild ride for me, because there was like good and bad RNG in there. There was like, him pushing me all the way in and then me pushing all the way back, and same deal for like Endy. Endy pushed out Tommy and then Tommy's pushing back. And you can see at the moment, it's right at the end, coming down to the wire. He's going to push the 13 flag with the IS-2, and we managed to secure the victory with 1 second remaining. Because, in that situation, when things are so close, you can just dive the flags at the end to get a draw. So we managed to secure the victory, which was wild. And what a game it was. 6,725 kills to 5,730 losses. Like the T-34s and everything early on was kind of failing me, but then like later on, as soon as the Su-85's gone in the fight, we managed to clean up the Alfcard up out the Ds. We got some really good kills onto the AA, and that really opened up the sky for the P2s to come through and kill these Pak-40s, which was super important because I didn't have the artillery instead. But yeah, this T-34-85, for example, doing a great job afterwards. We got the ISU-152s killing plenty of infantry for us. There's lots of kills that come through later on that really, really turned that game around. And the ZIS-2s at the end there getting plenty of kills. Yeah, really, really fun stuff. Solid game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.